off.
It moves into another section.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It will fall down below and there's full content down here.
You were talking about home office communication, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I have it on there. It's required as of 9/2, so I haven't done it yet.
Okay, perfect. So that home office communication plan is something that I would recommend that every single one of you go through. It doesn't really need to say. I'd like to let you know more than that. The way to explain this is we've got so many ways to communicate on this thing. You know, we went the far end of the spectrum, right? We try to find a bunch of avenues that are there. For owners, Slack is important. They're still actively using it. So get on the general Slack channel, all that kind of stuff. If you're not on there, talk to Chris. We'll get you on there today. Make sure that you're on the right forums on Slack. It's a free account, so the data disappears. So with CMIT Connect, we are promoting and working the forums, and again, it's a behavioral change thing. So it's just to use. All the forums and questions and things by topics can all be here for people to post questions and things that they want. Two confusing things before you even go through the learn. You haven't done it. This is an alert board, the one called Now. Is it Anthony or highlighting it for you? Is it the one? Or do I need to?
Hey,
That's
Rob.
the Now button.
Hey, Rob. This is
The
Ken.
idea board is a way that we've talked about in franchising for a lot of years. It's one of the ways we solve these issues. Hey, I got a bright idea. I want to get it out to franchising or but how many other people have put it? What other ideas are floating out there? I've gotten Roger and the board committed to bringing these into our strategy. So that way we do stay connected with you guys and actually report back which of these things we're trying to solve and fix. You'll see some great content in here. Some things are doing right, some things are doing wrong. You know, even if you have a great idea for Roger, I've said, you know, hey, go down to his strategy and put it to him. You know, tell him what you think, tell him what you're looking for, and he'll answer you. And that gets out of filling his inbox every day. I typically have, for everybody on the call, 30 emails a day. It's just somebody telling me something we should be doing. And it's the loudest ring. Right? So you hit me 32 times in the last week about something. And it's like, I finally get to you, and I'm like, Bill, what is it? Rob, get rid of it. And I just want Bill off my back. So, hey, be the squeaky wheel. It's okay. But here is where I tell you, put the information. And it allows, if you go into places, for people to provide comments, vote things up, and help us set the priority. So there's the franchisees on the cloud. So you guys know, 2 weeks from now, if everything goes right, and whatnot, if things there's no telling the cloud strategy and where we should be for the cloud strategy and where we are vendor and everything will be announced at home. So, and that was a July from the franchises to the board, right? Hey, stop doing security, we need the cloud now. We need vendors, we need what we can. Typically, we don't lift and shift that quick, being a franchisor. But as soon as there is a franchise, we felt that was what was important. We cleared the channels and made that happen. So, really, where I go is get on here and do that. The last one is the Q&A, as you can see it here. This is National Text, where I promise you I'm going to shut that email down if it's the last thing I do. It is, some people love it, some people hate it. Majority of your technicians will tell me, get the owners off of it. We're tired of them thinking that they're better or smarter than us, let us be the technicians. Some people use it as a complaint channel and not a production channel, but I can use any data. So one limitation to this is that you can't upload a document. So we're working with the people to get it. So if you want to say, hey, what is the best practice for doing this? It's going to have to be sent through email, or hey, follow this link or embed a link to something. It's just not functionally where I want it to be. So remember, you put it on Slack, you're going to lose it one day, so you don't lose it any day. So just reminding you this is where you want to go. But we also have a link for the Slack channels here. So if you want to go to our operations channel, it'll take you over there and do it for you. I just don't have it turned on this computer. Always fun when it's behind the. So everybody kind of there. Here is the number one thing that franchisees pick up. Rob, I love all of these boards and the alert boards, but it has to affect with email. Okay? So we've done our best to help you out. You see Eric's flashing his phone on the side there where it says post now. This is more comedy than anything, but the goal here is to say, if you click that little radio button, what it's going to do is give you an RSS feed. And it's so funny to watch the technician come back and go, dang it, Rob, I don't know RSS feed. I know. So the reason we did this is so that you have the ability to shut down the noise. You don't want to be part of Master Specs, you don't have to. You only want to be part of a certain feed, you can be. You don't have to get everything from every channel, from everything that's going out. We do broadcast all emergencies through the system as well. So if you get a Connect alert, please read it, no matter what it is, even if it's just you telling me you finished the course. Because every national emergency issue, whatever, comes here. And my goal is that the resolution and tracking of that event. So for instance, Continuum had an issue with the PSA, and it was losing connectivity to the PSA and the RMS. They just upgraded their system. So that was brought up, it was put out there, it was tracked on that, the comments were put on that so that you can watch it and see the resolution to it and what's going on. So you don't have to send 14 tickets into home office so you know about it. You can know that it's out there and we're going to be tracking it and working on it. So, any questions kind of on the forums and what things are? I'll let you go through the training and try to catch up with a little bit of time and kind of go briefly through this. The last one.
So, Rob, quick question for you. This is Stan from San Antonio.
Yep.
First of all, for some new owners like me, we don't know a lot of acronyms. So it will help if you can just.
I have a sheet for you. I'll send you right after this class.
Okay, for example.
You after the sheet, but I'll give you a sheet today, which is all the acronyms that I'm going on. And being an ex-military guy, sorry, Dan, my vocabulary is about that.
And welcome to my world, sir. I had the same question for you weeks ago. I was like, that means what exactly? Thanks for that.
So, what do you need to go back and touch on? When I say it's kind of confusing.
So, I don't know what is PSA is, what is Continuum. I've heard their names thrown around a lot, but I don't know exactly what they do.
Perfect. Okay. Remember that dummy curve I talked about? We'll keep you on that one for a little bit longer. We'll go through all that as we go. I shouldn't have used it, so I apologize. Thank you for that feedback. Chris, put that in my evaluation list. Stop using acronyms. Yeah, have a charge. Like
You already got a few points. You got the fourth quarter. You come back strong.
I appreciate it. So here's the final one, the networking page. We're building this out, but for instance, if you want to look at Paul Latura, I'll put that out there. He's got some points, gives you the opportunity to upload pictures. We're trying to get you a national quick search database, so you can kind of see who works on projects, what industries that you have, what you bring to the table with each of you in the background is something that's unique. So when somebody's looking at an oil and gas company and they know you come from one, Sam, they have the ability to give you a call and say, hey, what are some things I should be thinking about? And give you an opportunity to kind of know their background. We'll keep building this out with certifications and things as well, just so you know who you're talking to. So, with that, sorry for the quick on that.
Rob, one quick question. This is Stan from San Antonio.
Yeah.
What is the best one-liner you have found for CMIT?
What one-liner as far as what? Like pickup line, dating line, customer line?
Now, if somebody asks you what is CMIT, How can you say in less than 10 words?
In less than 10 words. For, I'll give you the script. But I mean, hey, what I typically say is, hey, we're business consultants, let's take care of your IT concerns and needs. It's the quickest way to say it. So that's my kind of thing. I'll tell you what an MSP is and how to get there. Typically, I find that only occurs in a networking event. Usually I'm trying to get you to talk first. So I'll ask you, Cam, hey, what do you do? And then when somebody comes back to me, I can say, well, hey, Cam, I have small businesses just like you. Get rid of all the issues with technology so that you can focus on building your business and being nice. So I can kind of tailor it. So we'll work on that a little bit more in the sales portion of the business.
Yeah, and the reason I ask this question because I've been kind of struggling, I talk to people and they think, oh, I can build their websites.
Can you?
Yes, probably yes, but that's not my core strength.
Hey, we'll talk on Thursday, we'll talk with Wednesday and Thursday about the whole service strategy piece, the same thing I said to you the other day about that job you took. But Danny's got a pretty good offer, right? He's got a very large client that's wanting to do a BitLocker transfer. He's got no BitLocker experience as of today. He doesn't know what the HIPAA requirements are. He's not HIPAA certified. So we went through kind of a rush course in about a 5-minute call about, hey, what do you need to look at when evaluating a job for the launch? And I don't know where he's ended up. I'll let him share that with you guys. But can we table that just after 11 so I can make sure we get through this last 45 minutes? Is that okay, Dan?
Sure.
Okay. Rob, if I can interject for just 1 second, because Dan has a very unique opportunity as before we even completed training, you've got that opportunity. So keep that thing, we don't want you executing on anything. Keep that in your mind, keep that in front of mind, and hopefully it's something you can share with us so we can follow the journey with you. Say, hey, we had discussions about this fits into the conversation or the breakout or the activity that we're doing. So that way we can help you have that answer. And it sounds like there's full faith and confidence you can build what the ask is going for, but let's keep that in our thoughts as we go through the procedures and the activities and see if that makes a little bit more sense for you. Does that work?
That will perfectly work.
Beautiful.
So, some of you were on break when I said this, we're going to kind of make a transition going into the training over the next 45 minutes. So we have the introduction slide on that I gave you, kind of, quick overview of who we are, what's going on. Underneath that was a 1 for the training section. The intent of this course is really to make sure that you understand where we're heading in things, what you can expect from Beesway, and I want you to know that before you go to lunch, right? So really understand what does this training program look like, what to expect over the next couple of days, what's going on here. Hold on real quick. Yeah. And kind of what's going to happen over the next typically 3 weeks. So we're going to talk a little bit about an opportunity that we have in the breakup starting tomorrow with you guys. But we actually have completed and have started rolling out a training program with Jay Barrows. You guys can look it up. It is a sales training program focused on the front end of the funnel. We're going to teach you how to use the techniques, but if you want to go through the follow-up course, it's not mandated today. It will be mandated for the class behind you. But it is an opportunity for you to work with Jim that 3rd week and going through and building those scripts in that language form. Sorry, I apologize. I just had to pull back up. So,
hey Rob.
Yeah.
This is Bill. In my conversation with a lot of the current franchise owners that were more technical people, that was the area that they really felt they probably needed even more of. So I know you're saying sales wasn't really you know, you got a third week that's coming up, but, you know, making it optional to some guys. I've been in sales. I did 3.5 years of direct sales for Nextel. I've been through the Sandler course twice. You know, I understand that side of it, but a lot of guys don't have a clue. So I think it is important that if you're more technical, to give people an opportunity to get really into that sales side, because that's what you're asking us to do. You're not asking us to be technicians, you're asking us to be basically salespeople and business owners, and it's new to a lot of people. So I think that's an important option and an opportunity to get.
Yeah, so we're integrating the whole thing through our program. It will be part of the charge when guys come in. Yours wasn't that way. That's why it goes there. I've got a full software suite coming out too. But really think of the front end of the funnel situation, Stan, for you and Bill, who are already kind of there operating what you're currently doing. Is it's really taken over. It came out. I spent a lot of time in North Texas. They've got a wonderful business school and a wonderful sales program. So if you ever need to hire somebody, they're a great place to look, you know, to get that SDR role, that marketer / sales, front into the funnel, almost like the old days of cold callers. These guys are like engineers of stopping is what I say all the time. They use social media in every form and fashion, and it's not marketing. It's very tailored to you and to your likes and dislikes. So they're trained by a company called Jay Barrows between Facebook and all those. And we've leveraged the contract with them that just put our owners through a year-long program with coaching and everything for $500. I mean, it's ridiculous how cheap it is. And they're going to help build those scripts as we find, you know, take 16 touches to get a hold of somebody. Don't let me go off script. See, there you go, Bill. Yeah, I love that side of the house, so I got to let you do it. So I'm going to stay on what I have to talk about, some jewelry, sorry,
Bill, that's on my list here. So thank you for these observations are helping me as we move forward with this too. So and I'll let Rob go and do his thing, but I'll be in the background kind of see me pull the pad out. That's like, oh yeah, that's a good call. I would definitely make sure we roll that in. So we'll do our best to keep the train rolling here. But these are all great call outs. Maestro, if you'd like to continue, it's all yours.
So with that, this is what we're training on for the next couple of weeks, right? I showed you a slide when you went through my presentation, typically enough. You were there prior to that one. I'm not going to teach you technical stuff. I don't want you to be a technician. I'm going to do everything I can to narrow your scope for the first 90 days so that you don't get distracted. Remember that entrepreneur ADD? Tam, you and I have a special thing we really work on together, right? So you have a little difference to get you buying your sister business. Dan, if there's questions you have, I'd be happy to work with you as well offline on those. I'm kind of introducing some of these things. Jerome and Bill, so you got everybody's got a unique story there. Bill's got one because he's got some technical side behind him as well. St. Louis, so depending on Jerome, you're my ideal candidate. Thank you for being the one. So you can feel comfortable going through this, but we will focus on that. So I don't want to spend a lot of time here. I will come back and touch on this. This is the one that I find a gentleman named KATE did a study for General Motors many years ago, and was brought into that company to find out why were people exiting General Motors. He said, well, first off, I can't go and keep them all for you, but I'll find out why. There's a whole bunch of reasons that I can tell you where it's at, but I can tell you why are we usually promoted in the technology side of the world? Because of our substitute, right? We're great at something, you can manage other people and teach other people. Why are we fired? We're fired because of our being sick, right? Kind of the Peter principle. We're promoted to our level of incompetence. So what I like to tell people at this level is, wherever you've been in the organization, you're now top managers. So the level of technical skills that I expect you to have I expect you to understand the technology, you understand the business need and how it relates. But really, we're going to focus time on conceptual and human skills. Please get a tech, rent a tech, lease a tech, ask the franchisee next to you for a tech. You know, get with us and we'll help you find a tech. But don't spend time and energy getting into that level with us. So just want to show everybody kind of expectations here. and where we're at. So everybody asks, okay, training, what do I get from training? What are you going to get me, Rob? We're going to spend this first week going through the 101 course. We're going to start this afternoon with Business 101. We're going to end on Friday with Marketing 101. We're going to talk a lot about what is the basic skill set. Why did I go this way? A lot of our franchisees came back and said, hey, if I wish I would have known, the basic concept drum of accounting, right? Cash in, cash out. I wish you would have told me, hey, make sure I funded my business appropriately. So we're going to touch on those things, give you some basic background on a lot of this stuff. We'll do some EQ classes and personality classes. We'll talk about leadership. Talk a lot about outsourcing this week as well, as I try to get you to stop seeing what a lot of businesses fail, everything for everyone. So Teresa will be training that course, and we'll get your coach back on the line to do that with us. And then we will do a technology 101. My goal is that you know the difference between a router and an access point. That you know what the hardware is versus this. It really isn't intended to show you all of the technologies and everything else. It's really to understand what is technology so that you can be confident when you walk in a door that, as I've seen before, you don't look at a switch and call it, managed firewall or, hey, is that your server? I just want to make sure that you have that knowledge and experience. The big shift in our methodology is service strategy. We don't teach product anymore. One of the biggest things that we found, and I've found across my working group, a product that gets people confused. We're going to talk a lot about service strategies. What are the service strategies, guys? You're getting things that no other franchise has got in the last, 4 years I've been here. I've been working hard to get it to happen. The business cases, how to map the solutions to the business cases, and darn it, guys, an actual calculator that you just put in numbers and the darn thing that's expensive and cost and pricing. And number one thing after that I've been here has been that, and it's taken me forever to get it there. There's different pricing methodologies without having to teach you all. You do it user-based, you do it, device-based, so you'll get all of that. When the cloud solution comes out, it will be integrated in there as well. So it's good kind of basic calculator to get you started. Sales 101, that's all next week. We'll just get ready to get into that with Jim. A lot of that is focused on that front of the funnel. And then Marketing 101, we'll get there so we can talk about what's important to. Any questions on that? Am I going too fast? Stand smiling. So we just smile like cameras because I get too stuff. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, guys, on that note, don't forget your participant windows. You do have the opportunity to slow him down. You definitely don't want to speed him up. That's actually problematic for everyone. Use those things of, hey, I've got to go do a quick thing. Use your break icon, stuff like that. If you got a question, throw that hand up so we can make sure that you're getting taken care of. So don't forget about that participant window, guys.
So we'll dig deeper into each of those courses this week. I like to go here because this is usually Stan where you guys start having that moment, right? I call this the change curve, right? I'm not going to go into real depth and the philosophy behind it and everything, but I will say in franchising, we are predicting what's going to happen. We've been through it so many times and we find all of these different places. The first thing is that we're going to tell you you need to change something. And the first thing I say to Chris is, Chris, I'm not changing the data slide. I've been doing it for 6 years, right? It's that whole denial, right? And Chris is like, well, Rob, if the guy having a coat open with watches is probably not appropriate for some crowd. Well, I think it's funny, Rob, not everybody has the same unit. So we'll go through that frustration, right? That is not a bad thing. That is understanding and seek understanding. If it becomes critical of each other, you gotta learn to say no. And we're gonna expect it from you. We're gonna say something, we're gonna teach you, you understand you're probably gonna have to denial about it in some cases, and other cases you're like, yeah, my wife's not. Whatever the case is, you're there. What our goal to do is to never let you go into what we call the valley of despair. And I'm gonna tell you, your job is to tell you you're there. I'm gonna try my best to keep you out of there, but people go there. I go there on a weekly basis with my 2 sons. Like, have I messed up in character? What have I done wrong? Then all of a sudden he goes and gets another letter from Duke, and I'm like, okay, got it. I did that. But I'm telling you, you don't need to say, well, I am lost. Stop. That's in training, that's in life, that's in the next 12 months. Don't wait till you're at a point where you're like, hey, I gotta call Chris because Chris is not giving me what I want. Stop, own your readiness, own what you have, and don't go there. Once you get through that, I promise you start experimenting with things. You go, yeah, I like this, I like that, and the acceptance is the fact that, oh, I like the new way I'm doing. But as I say, it's no, I never forget about the denial of what Chris told me because it's my idea. So Chris never told me I needed to say something. I came up with that idea. It's acceptable for you as well, right? So if we tell you to fix something, you don't have to give me credit or anybody else if you do it. But we will talk a little bit about that throughout the time. Personal growth, we expect you to go through it. Here's just a quick kind of look at it. Those are in your slide decks that you guys have. Happy to chat with you afterwards if you want to go into more depth on this. After 2, when everybody else is off, we can talk more about it. We are going to purposely set up aha moments for you. We are not going to make them painful. We're not trying to be there. But we do, I can't fire rounds over your head for the military folks in the room, right? And make you some combat. I've got to say, here's an experiment, here's something, you got to go play with it and get feedback before you can develop the next level of marketing. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is get you to master something. So, I am completely unconscious, unconfident until you know there's a problem. And so we need to show you the aha. So at times we'll give you negative sides. I'm not trying to put you in the valley of despair, but I might say businesses fail because of these reasons. Now let's not be a number. You understand what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to give you that moment to see that, oh no, failure. I'm not saying you're going to. I'm trying to give you some context to give you let's be aware. I wasn't aware that this was a problem in business. Now I know it is. So that's the intent of the learn block. Here, I'm not going to go through them all. You can look at your slides on those. So, question for you is what do you expect to gain the next 2 weeks of training? When you came into this, what were you expecting? Just quickly. Anybody? Whoever wants to talk about it.
To sell the product. I mean, the product, what it is, or the service, as you want to say,
Okay? So products and services.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that with Stuart. We have a first stack, is what we'll call it, right? Helping out here, keep with the acronym stand. The stack is a series of our services and products and how they can be configured, right? We have a complete list of those, and we'll get those with Stuart. With the actual vendor that we recommend. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well as we move on. But you'll get that as well as how to price it and the cost on those.
I would also say what has been the experience with customers, whoever has the experience, they could share that with the newcomers. What are the do's and don'ts, sort of.
Absolutely. And we'll get some franchise feed on the phone over the next couple of weeks for you guys to ask them those questions to kind of pepper that in. I've got a few of them that are pretty comical and stuck on themselves, so I love putting them in the room and letting you talk, and they love doing it, but it's a pretty good time for you guys to see what they think. So we'll give you some of those experiences as well. Appreciate that. Anything else?
Stan's got a hand up for us.
Go ahead, Stan. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't sure, again, which hand to use. I had the other one up. And some of it was just covered. I think Bill mentioned one as far as the products and the services, and Edgar mentioned about the customers. And my thing, too, is that, because the full operations, it's understanding the integration of the support that we have from the different knots and how that's communicated and what's the level of control we have in using those services. So it's just, all this is all new. I'm coming in and, like I said, not knowing any of the services, not knowing any of the communication levels of protocol. So I'm trying to hopefully within these 2 weeks besides most of the training of sales, is to understand the current operational aspects.
Okay? I won't get that. You won't get that in theory. You'll get the service strategy. I will not get tactical service. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So we can talk about that today, just to make sure.
Sure.
We will have those trainings as we progress, and we'll talk about the philosophy behind that and why we do that. But there's some things to do. Anybody else before I go to the next slide? What you should expect is the big change here. This is our contract, right? So I love this. I love contracts. I love that we can provide this for you. And really, here's what you should expect over the next 2 weeks.
So Rob, this is Tan.
Yep.
One other than understanding all the products and offerings and what we can do and not. Other thing I think what may help us also having kind of a standard what they call is I don't know, there's a name for it, competence deck or something. That there's an industry standard name. Wherever you go and try to propose, you can kind of show that to a client and say, hey, this is who we are. These are the projects we have done in the past. We have done projects for Microsoft, for Adobe.
Already done.
So
I just looked at a new capabilities presentation just the other day. We're re-editing it, but you guys will have it for this next trip, for this training. So we'll talk about that week 2. So hold on for me, Stan. I know you've got a business and you're running. You're a little bit unique on this one, but I promise you, I got you. We got a whole bunch of things fun for you. We'll talk about that, I believe, on Friday.
Right. I was trying to look for those documents on Connect, like a standard PowerPoint template, which everybody uses. I could not find it.
Okay, stay on at lunch, and I'll show you where the existing one is. It's actually in Salesforce. Marketing materials in Salesforce. The training for how to use it is in Connect. So we'll talk about that, and I'll show you that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I wanted it redone, by the way. That's why we're redoing it. So, Chris is nodding his head going, yeah, watch it. Watch out for that. I warned you, Chris. You did what you did. And now I got a partner in crime. I tell you, this is a slide. If I need to blow it up for you, I can barely guys anywhere you all the time. I know. On your handouts, it might be small and it's 3 boxes. But is anybody familiar with Maslow's hierarchy? Okay. So food, water, and air. Everybody, you need it. You can't survive without it. You can't do it. So by a physical raising hand, and I'm working on this here, get this figured out. A physical raising hand in terms of a graphical representation. How many of you have been revenue producers? Like I've had to produce revenue. Okay? So here's the first thing. The world changes as a small business owner because your air, water, and air and all the necessities to be able to live are now what? Revenue. So the hardest thing to teach you guys is you can't save your way to make more money. You've got to produce revenue. Without revenue, for everybody who does it, you can't improve processes. Without revenue, you can't have opportunities to have those aha moments. So sitting around waiting and cutting your expenses and waiting for a customer to call you up on your website, you don't get this option. Okay? And we'll talk a lot about this. That is our key thing. Is to get to that client as fast as you can. Give us 90 days or less. And I'm talking MRR. Not talking about break fix or this kind of work. I'll talk about that later. It gets you that first managed service client. If it's on one sheet, I don't care. That is our drive to get there. And we know the recipe. I can tell you the 13 sessions you got to do with a cold call. We're getting you there. We're going to show it to you. And actually, guys, we're actually going to enforce it. You are the first training class that I can contractually force to do certain things. And I don't like the word force because it makes it look like a real nasty word. but I will tell you, Chris is actually bonus and tied to whether or not you guys do these things. Okay? So what I mean by that is we have the system able to track your events and tell you how many you do. And when Jim gets in there and says, hey guys, 40 hours, Chris is able to pull that for me. I'm able to look at it. I'm able to have conversations. I'm able to measure my business the same way I'm going to teach you how to measure it. So doing those small activities you know will produce outcomes. If you don't do those, I have to find a way to put a character from you, right? Or a stick. So typically that's me calling and saying, come on, bro. What do you want to do? Because, hey, look at what Bill and Tanner doing, and they're doing the thing. I prefer that way than to go other places. But we're trying to limit all the noise we go to. Okay? That's really our intention, not to work. Our intention is to help manage. And that's what they wish I would have done more. So, sorry guys, I'm giving it to you. Probably my goal is by the end of next year, everybody below a certain revenue number, I'll be able to force back, bring back in for retraining on the system to make sure that we get this stuff up and running. So very excited, Bill. Similar to what you said, new owners are telling me the same thing. I wish or somebody called.
Listen, Bill, I can just confirm, guys, I was not a sales guy when I went into the Nextel sales. And, you know, people are not going to call you. Right? And you may get lucky, but you just got to go out and do it, do the work. And it's not a normal thing when you're not a sales guy. And, but it is the part of it that will make the difference in being successful or not. I did it. From a particular, I went on a cruise the very first year I was at Nextel, right? And it was like, dang, this is fun. I like being the number one, number two guy. So, it pays off in the long run. So that's, I'm just giving you a little encouragement that what Rob's talking about there is the real stuff that makes the difference.
And so my first, and I appreciate that, Bill, because when we talk about activities, the introductions we did this morning are typically the same thing you do during an appointment. Everybody thinks it's about selling or having a pitch or doing a pitch deck. And yeah, we've got those and the people are going to be there. This is a relationship. You know people's IQ, and you guys know it from experience. Letting somebody into your accounting books and letting somebody into your IT are the two things that are kind of like, the thing. But they're the two most outsourced activities in small business. So it is a little.
Hey, hey Rob, this is Stan. Hey, hey Rob, this is Stan. Hey, a quick question, looking at the MSP client life cycle. So looks like, a fishing anchor trying to fish and attract customers and engage them, convert them. Uh, why don't we see this or sell this as solving somebody's pain points, problems? So Rob, this is Stan. Hey Rob, this is Stan. I'd like to share an interesting story from Apple. Steve Jobs. He was kind of a little crazy, weird in some ways. Back then when iPhone was coming up, it just came to like personal use. There's no business to business for iPhone, and that time the market was more captured by Blackberries. Everybody used to carry on Blackberries, right? And then in those times, I think somebody in Apple sales suggested, hey, why don't we go and market ourselves to these big businesses with 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 employees? And Steve Jobs said, hey, if we are good, they will come to us. And now we know where we are. Rob. Rob, this is Tan from San Antonio. Hey, it's a quick question. I understand, I think that's a good thing because we don't want to spend a lot of time on training for products. But do we have like a kind of a big poster which kind of gives you at a glance of the whole ecosystem and different service methods? So Rob, this is Tan from San Antonio. Quick question. Hey, we have been talking about hey being owners. Let's not spend too much time on technology and understanding what's behind it. Just try to be a business owner. Try to focus more on marketing and sales. During the validation calls, what I learned from owners is that I would say more than half of the clients you retain or lose is mostly because how your technicians are doing their jobs. Uh, right. So the thing is, when your technician tells you, hey, yeah, I can do this. This is nothing, and he goes and then messes up your job, and you lose a client. So what are the different ways you can mitigate that situation? Yeah. Now, thanks. Now, thanks, Rob. Another related question is: do you also suggest putting kind of a fallback system where your first layer of technicians can't attend a service and the required SLA it goes to the next level? Oh, thanks, Rob. No, that's pretty good. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob. Not okay, so Not the weekend. Hello. I'm doing fine. How are you, man? I. Yeah, we just started this morning. I, I saw, I saw a couple of emails going back, not emails, the messages going back and forth between you and Debbie, helping us out. I did not, I did not, I did not pay much. Okay. Is that for the speech and language center? Okay, okay, okay. So, what do you think about this Gonzaba? What's going on? Did we hear anything from Kara? Okay. Okay, okay. So a couple of things, James, I wanted to talk to you. I like the way you think and the way you do things. You're a sharpshooter, and I'm also like that. I like to be very straight up front. So I really appreciate you helping me on this first part of the project. And see, my thought is, for sure, this is I'm starting, and there's a lot for me to learn. And after all, this will be my project, and I have to be accountable, right? And you will be helping in the first phase. So what I was thinking, instead of just you helping me in the first phase, can't we just work out an agreement with us where we don't know how this is gonna go, right? We may not even get anything out of this, right? Out of all this work. But if we're able to get there something out of it, see, our aim is to turn this into a managed service, right? So what I was thinking, why can't we just do it together, for sure, you can be the project manager for the first phase, and so if we do it together, we can do kind of some split, if you do the first phase, you will do the most of the heavy lifting. We can do some kind of a split, I can let you have 70%, I will take 30%, but later on we can have some other split. We can do Mm-hmm. Right. I build my own technical department, or I outsource it, right? Two options. Right. Yes. 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 No. Right. No, I agree. I agree. I agree about that. Uh, mhm. So what I was thinking, my understanding was going forward, my understanding first was okay. Uh, I I own this project, right? And I should be fully accountable for this project. You are helping me as a project manager in the first phase, right? So so this is and cannot shy away from getting my feet wet, because this is I understand this is challenging, but I have to do this. And I really appreciate you helping me with it. And that's what I was thinking, just not doing the first phase. What I was thinking, maybe we can do a structure where we split both the cost and the revenue. uh, so what I So, say for example, I was thinking I signed the project, I'm the project owner, contract owner, and we both work as a team, and I invoice the client, I bill the client, and say I bill for 100,000, and we say for example agreed on uh, certain percentage, right? 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20, whatever it is. So you get 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever it is, and I get 60%, 70%, and we can work out those ratios. But that will be on a recurring basis. It will not be just uh, for few months, like 6 months or 8 months. So that it should be fair for both the parties involved, because there should be something for you. Because what I see now is because what I see now is you. Uh, I'm talking about the whole client, Gonzaba client, working together on this, and we both work as a team. And if we need to hire, anyways, I'm gonna hire techs, right? So if we can work with existing techs you have, we can do inter-office billings. If not, I will hire my techs, or if not, for on a temporary basis, I can outsource it. But we don't know how this is going, because this is still kind of just in the air, right? Uh, I want to form a long-term relation with you, James. And I see in you that you can be a really good partner, and we can work really well. And this is a good client. I think we can form a good team and work on this and pull this off. So my understanding about the compliance is you need to have a certified entity to do those assessments and audits, and it could be entity X, it could be entity Y, it could be entity Z. Excuse me. My understanding is depends on what kind of work we are doing. If we're just doing the help desk, I don't think we need to be HIPAA compliant. It could be. It could be. So in that. So if that's the case, then I need to find an entity or a partner who have those required certifications, right? Which is Yes, yeah, I don't have it, right, but you have it, right? Right, so and that's why we can work together. Mm-hmm. Right, right, and we can find that out, And I think for the initial first few phases, we don't need HIPAA certification. That's my understanding. I don't think you will need for BitLocker a HIPAA certification. Um, I'm not sure about that. I need to learn more about this if that's the case. But in my what I have learned so far is for BitLocker and machine hardening, you don't need HIPAA certification. But yeah, if you're doing the assessments, if you're doing the audits, hmm No, but that's not the intent, right? That's not the intent. I'm sorry, that's not the intent. But how do you know that? We need to be upfront, and I will say, hey, this is Tan, he's working towards his HIPAA compliance. All his employees, they are HIPAA compliant. They have gone through this training. Here, the certificates. These people don't have it. They're working towards it. So see, So, see, I need to understand more about this, but my understanding was for BitLocking, you don't need HIPAA compliance. And like we previously discussed, anyways, you would be doing the first phase. I said, okay. But my thought is, I own this project and I need to be fully accountable for the project. And I cannot just shy away from saying, hey, James did this, so I don't know anything about it, right? So, So no, so we need to work a solution. If this needs a HIPAA compliance, we will be HIPAA compliant. We whatever it takes, we'll get that. If it, we could find something else compliance you need. Okay, there's a third compliance which came which we never knew of. Yeah, I'll become HIPAA compliant. Yes, that's my intent, and I also need to understand more about this. Is it just me, or is it just all my employees, or is it everybody in the NOC or in the SOC? So I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. Well, I understand. I understand it takes time, uh, and that's what I was thinking. We both can work together, and not just being doing the first phase. We both, join hands and work as a team. But I be the project owner, the contract owner. I sign the contract, and then I say I sign a BAA and say, whatever work, whoever does this work, whichever entity it is, they will have all the compliance they need. So my LLC is MSSP LLC. MSSP LLC. Yes, MSSP LLC. Zoya and Zed, I'm on the phone. So right. So see what I'm seeing, James, is we don't know where this is going. Right. We are pursuing them. You never know. Yes, yes, yes. If see, first of all, we need to find that document which says what we need to do, right? And once we find the document, understand it, then we will do, or my company will do what needs to be done. But I'm not signing a contract now, right? We are not even talking. We haven't even got the contract. Yeah, yeah. Yes, once we get it, right? Once we get it, then we will talk the terms, then we'll sign the contract, we'll read the contract, we'll understand what the requirements are, and then say, hey, probably these 5 points we don't meet, so probably we cannot do it. Or maybe Gonzaba is smart enough and they ask me questions, ask you question, or both of us, that beforehand, that do you have these certifications to work with us? My thought is to work on a partnership basis with you, like on a spread system, like I told you, and I be the project owner or contract owner, and we work together. Like you have the HIPAA compliance, you can run the assessment. If you don't want to do it, we can find some third party who can do it. And in the meanwhile, if I need some compliance, I will get the compliance. That's my thought. And James, I was also thinking to bring on a cybersecurity expert on the team who can also guide us, who has done this, who can guide us through the solution. फोन पे बेटा फोन पे है And whoever does the, and you don't have to do it. You know, we both can decide to give it to someone third party so that you don't have to do any work, right? So I think where you can add value is being in the business, knowing cybersecurity, which I need some time to learn. I can bring on a cybersecurity expert who has done this. I can get third parties, uh, and I think that's what we discussed last time. That hey, you know, Tan is new. You are willing to help him out for the first phase, but from phase 2 onwards, he will take over, right? That's the discussion we had, right? But so for the managed service, did you get a chance to look at the BitLocker? What were you thinking? How much time it's gonna take, and what kind of solution we will propose? So sure, sure. That's what I think, and that's what you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you say that because I don't have the HIPAA certification, right? Hmm. Okay, at this point of time, I could have it tomorrow, right? I could have it next week. So I need to be compliant when I sign the papers, right? Not today, right? Uh, unless I sign the dotted line, I'm not. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, see, I was not proposing a break fix. I was proposing where we land with this. We do both do it together. So we both right. So we both can do together, or I can do it, you can do it. 6 months you. So we could do it different ways, James. If this is a big client, we both can agree. Hey, we both are gonna hire these two techs just for this client, and we will bear the expenses. Uh, I think you may be correct, but I think I want to have a long-term relation with you, not just only on a need basis, because. Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Need this one for a second.
No, I agree, James. If this would have been a smaller business, I would have just taken it myself. But since this being a bigger organization, I think it just shows, greater strength, if you work as a team, me being new, you have been seeing a lot of things. But I understand where you come from, you don't want to get into this kind of mess with two people working together and yeah, like you mentioned, ethical issues, HIPAA compliance, maybe some legal complexities. No, I take this, I understand this part, and that's what I saw, when you agreed to just saying, hey, I'm helping Tan with just the first phase. I think, hey, how is that gonna work for you? Because you're just doing the first phase, and then you get out, then how much money you will make out of that first phase, unless you turn this into managed service. And that was the reason for the call. Uh, so I think we are clear on what we want to do. So I will the path forward. Since Teresa was involved, I'm gonna send a note to Teresa that James and I had a talk. This is what we had discussed last time. That James is gonna help me with the first phase of the project, and his understanding was not just the first phase, the whole project, and turning this client into a managed service. Uh, but this being my project, I have anyways to get my feet wet, right? So I would like to take this on and see where how much can you run with it. Okay, no, thanks, James, and I always appreciate your help with running the tech. So allow me some time, to get my tech. Uh, and I really appreciate. So give me some time, just don't cut me off and say, hey, I'm not giving you my tech. Right, right, right. I. Sure, sure. Okay, no, sure, sure. Let's do that. If you need the, my MSSP LLC, I can send more information. Sure. Yeah, this is Texas. Yeah, this is Texas LLC. Yeah. Sure, sure. I will do that. And thanks so much, James. I apologize. If any of what I said came out of rude or not in line. No, thank you, sir. We need to be good neighbors, and that's why look forward to see these things will come and go. We don't know. I don't know where this is going, where this is gonna go. But I think I like your first email. We need to be clear on the same page. That was the reason for the call. So thanks for all the effort you put on this. I will take it from here, and hopefully you will not hear about this. Who the home office? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, no, I understand. You need to run business like a business, right? So I understand. No, thanks, James. Okay, thanks, man. Bye. Bye. Yeah.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
How far can our franchisees grow when they're trying to do it all themselves? What do you think?
Only to the amount of time that they have in a day to do it all.
So I would think the same thing, Joe, but the interesting thing is the number actually came out. There actually is a revenue number that's validated. It's called Ripple's and 30 model. It's the same across the board.
No problem.
No matter how much you're in operation, no matter where you're at, there's an interesting number that comes out. Dan, would Dave ever be yourself? Or do you think that-
तुम्हें ज़्यादा शॉर्ट करते हैं.
I think he's just doing all the the ownership type stuff and stuff, and he loves to be very technical, but he's got a technical team now, that's doing a lot of the work, so he's really almost away from the day-to-day activity.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you this number and you kind of relate it to the business that I've got to do the goals, the revenue, and all that kind of stuff.
गेम से बात हो गई गेम से मैंने बता दिया
240
याद नहीं पार्टनरशिप ये मैं अकेले करूँगा फिर
पार्टनरशिप में जाते हैं तो कुछ करेगा बोलना
वो हुआ था जब तो मैं अकेले नहीं साइन करूँगा इट्स नॉट वर्क कितना बड़ा क्लाइंट है पता नहीं फालतू क्या बात कर रहा उसको लग रहा था कि आई
That's
थिंक
kind
ही
of the maximum
वाज थिंकिंग कि
point.
मैं अकेले नहीं कर पाऊंगा और नहीं
You know,
करूँगा
year
तो
to year.
फिर
Now,
देख
doesn't mean you're
कर
getting a special gig or you're doing
ठीक है,
special
तो नहीं कर
service,
पाएगा तो
you're doing marketing and things.
But it's more like I don't know how much I can run with it.
Today,
I'll try to do
I'm
it. I
going
have
to
to even
tell
get
you
my feedback, you know.
5 people do it. You're going to be one of our $240,000 to $250,000 for
क्या
that.
बोला
तो बोले ठीक है
तो बोलेगा मैं खुद ले लूँगा सब
हाँ तो मैं बोला था कि तू सिर्फ फेसबुक में मुझे हेल्प करना चाह रहा था
And why? And part of that is what?
So how it's going to help you? So I was thinking
They can
long term,
maintain
you know, we can
control.
work both for us. We can join our
Right?
forces
And we're going to talk a lot about mindset on that.
win this.
Yeah.
बोले कि नहीं ये वो किसी compliance हम उसको करा रहा है ये वो ना ठीक compliance है लेकिन अभी हम लोग थोड़े contract sign कर रहे हैं जब sign करेंगे तो हम compliance देखा जाएगा
Issues and continue as a help desk type thing and that's it, or
Yeah, using continuum as a house,
बोले वाले नहीं
they're
बताते हैं
technician, they're their own technician.
ऑनलाइन
They might have a contract to come in every once in a while. You know, we go to product and, you know, customer basis, usually that's going to be up with one large client, usually 50% of their revenue. And, you know, a series of
तो
little
मैंने फोटो
side-by-side
देख के भैया नहीं गया
projects where they focus on that one client
अच्छा अच्छा
who's paying
तो
bills.
that's how every
They typically bring home 60 to 80K
तो
at the end of the year through owner equity and other stuff. You know, they're on that 20, 22%
it's another picture
thing.
of mine
And they think the way they're going to grow is when you
वो तो रिमोट से तुमको सकते
skydive
हैं
with a lot.
मैंने ले लिया
But they're not doing the day-to-day blocking and tackling that needs to occur. And they can't answer the phone because they're busy in accounting. And they can't, you know, follow up with the customers because they call them twice and, you know, he didn't answer, so they're going to kill the deal because, you know, he's not available to take their call. They don't have live answer on the phone. So there's a series of things we can go through and where we came up with this training and why we did. And so understand a lot of things we'll recommend to you are recommendations. There are a lot of things that we can now say to you, like, hey, you have to use our systems, you have to do these. Those things will be, non-negotiable. They're kind of, hey, here's what we're holding you accountable to. So let me let you play this out. I might stop a few more times.
Delegate. Delegate to employees. Delegate to other companies. Hire people to help you. Or find a marketing company. Find a bookkeeping service. Find other companies, other services that can help you with your business. When you do this, you'll find that more time to spend growing your business instead of working in your business. You never want to work in your business, you want to work on your business. So learn how to delegate. The second mistake that most business owners make is only focusing on one type of marketing. The many types of marketing, you should really be taking part in all of them to really get the best marketing and advertising campaign possible. There's online marketing, print marketing, direct mail, and TV and radio, and more. And the type of business you own could affect the type of marketing that you do. So if you own an online business, you may want to spend a little bit more time on that online side. But it doesn't mean you should eliminate altogether. And if you go even further into that, so if you want to do online marketing, you do video marketing, you do website SEO, you do video SEO, you do pay-per-click campaigns, you do banner ads, you do some social media. There's a really different way to go. Each category you go deeper and deeper. For example, if you want to do video marketing, you do SEO marketing, Google marketing, or YouTube marketing. It will take some time, it may cost you a little bit of money, but
Is the lag really bad? Lag bad?
Not terrible, but it's there.
If
Okay,
you
let me
can,
see if I can fix it. One second, real quick.
Not that I'm the expert at all this stuff, but just creating conversation. When I had the wireless business, we were the salespeople that went into business for ourselves just to sell. And we had inventory, and then we had accounting, and then we had billing, and we had stuff. And before you knew it, I had to tell the partners that it's like, I can't sell. I'm too busy doing your inventory and shipping your orders and billing your customers. And so we had to get to this point before we could ever make it. So I understand where you're at. I'm curious that the point is that 80 to 90,000 where a guy could go, I'm okay with this. And it's not a terrible living.
No, absolutely. And here's the thing, though, that, there's 2,000 dollars we have in the system, and I couldn't tell you this when you were going through the vetting process. I'm okay with both, right? I mean, ideally, I'd like to have less franchisees and more direct, right? Because it's less personalities, and again, agreement and everything else is different, and vision, and every person you add to is different. But for me, some people are very happy doing it. The problem with that is when you're talking to franchisees, people are like, why can't you get past 250? Why can't you get past this number? And why isn't this guy growing? And he pulls all the statistics down, right? And then I've got franchisees in the system that they don't care if they make a penny. And they've told me, Rob, my wife is a doctor or this or that. This is my hobby. And, and hey, for my minimum payment a month, it's like a Lexus payment. I need to run all my business expenses through it. We go on trips together. It's just tax simple. I'm thinking to myself, thank you, this is terrible. Because I have no contract to say, you got to exit. And so, again, the culture of this place typically was, yours to do it. I'm going to show you the recipe for how to get this, growing it into an asset. Whether or not you take a different path, after you leave, after viability, right, then I feel like it's okay to go the direction you want. But I don't think it's fair that you stick in here and tell you how to get there, so at least you have an asset or have something, and then you can make the decision on what you do with that asset when you get there. So I get your point. Sorry, long-winded. See if this improves it.
in the end, you have a huge, powerful marketing campaign that will be spent in 1 million avenues. That's